and welcome back. In this video we are going to be creating this lovely card that we gave to new people in our design hub. We are also gonna be showing a lot of stuff related to type and fonts because there's a lot of text happening in there. Let's jump right into it. So first of all, we are going to be creating a new file. Command N if somebody wonders. I'm gonna name it Design Hub. If you are wondering about any stuff related to this screen and you need to deep dive on stuff that I'm setting in here, go and check my video on how to set a new file. Otherwise, I'm gonna be setting A4 size, CMYK, high resolution, and let's jump right into it. Oh, I want orientation to be portrait. Okay. So here we are. I'm gonna copy the design in there so we can use it as a reference. First thing we are going to do is create the outline because I need to know the size of the card. I kind of eyed it in this case. You can just measure some real paper and take a look if it's the size that you wish to be. We are going to select rectangle tool. So you can either go in and click on the rectangle or click M on the keyboard and you have the tool already. I'm just gonna like click and drag this random rectangle in here, and I think it was 165 to 105. If you click on this chain, the ratio is gonna keep locked. And I don't want that now because I needed to resize it. I think it was 165. Yes, okay, good. So now we have the precise copy. I'm also gonna create my color swatch in here. So I just click again on the rectangle tool, click and drag and hold shift so it creates a square because I like it nice. In here I'm going to turn off the stroke because I don't want that in there. Now I'm going to copy the square multiple times. I think I have only 3 colors in here, so that's a little bit useless, but let's do it anyway. I usually do this with my bigger projects because it's more handy to have it just like sitting in there. So I'm going to hold Option while clicking and dragging the square down, and I'm also gonna be holding Shift so it goes by grid and no to any other random thing. That's the first one, and now I go Command or Control D, so now it copied the last action which I did, and it was moving the square and copying it down. Now I'm going to be clicking on the shape, going I for an eye tool, and clicking on the yellow. Now V for the selection tool, selecting a second one, I for the purple one, and then again V for the red one. Yes, it copies the stroke as well. There's probably a setting for it, but I've never did it because I'm too lazy for that. However, okay, so now we have our colors, and let's give our rectangle the yellow. So I go again. Eyedropper. There I have it. Now it's yellow. Okay. That's the beginning, yeah, of what I want to do. Now I would go for the type. So it's either T or you can like click in here in the toolbar, and I click and drag something like this. By the way, lorem ipsum, the text you can see in there, is just like a pre-filled text, so you can see what's happening with it even before you actually typed something in. And it works for no matter how big window you will text input field you will put in, it's just gonna fill it. So, and there will probably be set some weird size, very much small and everything, so just like go to select the text and put in 50 points. And now we would like to change the font. So again, don't forget to select the thing that you need to care about, and I think this one is called something starting Impact, yes. So I go and click on Impact. In case you don't have this font because it's from, I'm not sure if it's Adobe native or I downloaded it from Google Fonts. In that case, download it from the Google Fonts or use any other font, but this one is cool, that's why I picked it. Okay, so now we have the font in here. I want it to be purple, so I go eyedropper and click on the purple one here. By the way, with text, you can also eyedrop the font size and font color as well. But yeah, I don't need it now. I want to show you how to do it from scratch. Okay, so now we have it in here, and I will just put it somewhere here. And now double click inside, and I'm going to rewrite it to design hub, design community. You can notice that you cannot see what I'm typing, so I go into arrow for the selection, and you can just like, yeah, enlarge the input field. Oopsie. Command Z. Go step back. Okay, so that we have, and we also want design friends, design thinking, and design doing. Cool. Okay, now if I don't want this leftover input field in here, I double click on this blue dot, and what's going to happen is that it hugs the text. However, pay attention then, because if you want to resize the input field now, it would do this, and it makes every typograph on earth cry. Don't do that. In case you would like to adjust it in any way, you can double click on this white dot in here, and it's back where it was editable. So that we have, and now I think there's probably pretty much more simple way how to do this. However, I don't know the simpler way, so I'm just gonna show you how I do it. And it's like I select the text and I reverse the stroke and fill. And you can see what happens is that now the text is very, very cool because it has an outline instead of fill. I don't know why it is. It just looks cooler, don't you think? I can't explain this phenomena. Okay, and now I go select again. So we are good. I have this pretty texty thingy in here. I think it looks very much solid. And now I would like to do the pattern. I'm not sure if you noticed, I'm gonna zoom in. There are these tiny dots. So how I did that is, let's go a little bit further in here. You click and hold in here and select ellipse, or click L on the keyboard and click and drag. You can see that now I'm creating an ellipse. I want a circle, so I hold shift and it locks in this beautiful circle. Okay, and now I'm out of hands with everything. I go V for selection. I select the dot and I make it, I give it a fill instead of outline, and I make it white. And I feel it's too much big to be in the pattern, so let's make it smaller. So now I will select it, I will give it the size I have in my previous, you see, now I would need the chain. So click chain so that the ratio stays as it should be. And I will just put in the millimeters, and here we are. So this tiny dot. Now select the dot and go to Object, Repeat and Grid. And what's now going to happen is Illustrator is creating a pattern, or like a grid repeating of your design. So now I want this to be 165 to 100. Okay, some weird stuff is happening in here. However, I did again. Okay, and when I look at how it looks, I put it somewhat in the middle, like this. You can also align it with the yellow thingy, which I'm going to do now. So I go shift and click on the yellow under background, whatever. And in the right panel, you have align. In case you can't find it, go to window and align in here. And I'm going to be aligning it to the yellow thing. So now I need to click on the yellow thing as well. You see, now it's like encircled, which means that I'm aligning to key object. And I want to align it to middle, and it is nice, done. Okay. Now select both the dots and the background as well, and click right click and go to arrange and send to back. What now happened is that the dots were sent with the background as well to the end, so now we can see the text. And I feel I have some kind of opacity in there, which I don't remember the number, but we will add it again. So in here, go for opacity, I put it on 40%, which now feels a little bit, yeah, that's probably the same. Okay, so 40% it is. Okay, we have the background now, and we also adjusted the text. So here you edit size, here you edit font, and in here you edit, I forgot the name in English, font style. That's like bold, italics, and the other stuff. But I'm not touching anything because this font is really pretty, so I don't want to hurt it in any way. Oh, one thing that can happen to you is that the text is like very, very much further from each other. And as you can see in here, you can edit it. Usually there's automatical, that looks like this, but we want it to be 48 points, so the text holds a little bit closer together and it gives it the nice designy thingy vibey. Yes, I don't have a vocabulary today, so that's good. And then we are going to be creating the circle. Let's start with the circle. So what I did is basically I clicked B on a keyboard, which is a brush tool, and I just randomly like circled the word hub. Somehow it looked much better on the first try in the first my creation. I'm gonna try it again. I'm doing everything with the mouse. It sort of works. Like you can of course edit it afterwards. Now I can just click at the circle and I will do A, like an A arrow, and let's zoom in. Like what this brush thing is kind of cool, but it creates so many unnecessary points. Like this is one thing you want to do right when you are doing anything with circles and arches and everything. Like the less points the better. I'm gonna delete some of them. So now I go with P, like a pen tool, and you can see when I hover around the point there is this tiny minus happening in here which deletes the point, and because I don't need it. And I'm also gonna delete this one and this one, and now let's adjust it a little bit. Okay, so just click and move them. Click. These thingies that are in there are for adjusting the curve. There's a lot of cool stuff that Adobe Illustrator came up with recently that really helps you with the curvatures, but it wasn't there when I started to design like 8 years ago, so I'm not very much used to use them, and I just like do it by hand. Okay, it sort of kind of works, but yeah, let's just steal this one. By the way, you can steal my design as well. It's linked down below in my resources page on my website, and you can download anything from there for free without the need to put your email in. I always put all my design files in there, and there are also some printables, some free wallpapers with frogs and stuff, so take a look at that. Okay, so I copied the circle from my previous design, and now let's do these pow effects. Yeah, let's call it pow effects. So again, I'm going to go for B, like brush tool, and I just like click and paint with my mouse, not doing anything with the keyboard, and I'm just going to change the color of these to white. I hold shift each time I select new pow effect so that I can select them all at the same time, double click on the color, and now I'm just going to drag it for white, click OK, look at these beauties, nice. So here we are, and I also hand painted the arrow, but I will try again for you guys. So again, let's go for the B, and I did something like this. This one looks pretty like normal, works for me. Okay, now I would like the arrow to be purple, so I go for the purple color and I copy, double click, Command C or Control C, okay, and I click on the arrow and Command V. Why am I doing it like an idiot is because if I do it with the eye picker, it's gonna pick the fill, not the stroke. There is probably faster and more like meaningful way how to do it. If you know, let me know, but I'm just doing it like this always. And okay, so now we have the arrow. Oh, okay, and the second arrow is just a copy of this one. So I'm holding Option or Alt, and now you can see that when I hover around the edges, there is an arrow which is appearing there, and when I click it, I can rotate the object, and I'm gonna hold Shift. So it's rotating it in some grid. And now I'm holding Shift while I'm making it smaller. And in here you can see the width of the stroke. So I'm gonna go, yeah, 0.5. And I'm gonna make it a tiny bit smaller. There we are. Okay. So in case you are going to be printing it at your home printer, I would highly suggest to just design and print one side and just do the other one by hand. Or don't put anything, or just like write something very short on the other side. In case you are sending this to professional printer, I'm gonna show you how to prepare it for them as well. But this is like for home printing, and home printing if you are very, very brave, I would say. You can of course print it like A4 and just like cut it like this, nothing would happen. But I first meant it to design it like for two sides on the same card. I did it, by the way. It took me 5 times to get it right. However, let's continue. Okay, and now we would like to have this deer in here. I'm gonna copy the yellow under background thingy. So I'm just holding Option and Shift at the same time. And now I'm going to switch the fill and color just so that I can see the size for which I'm designing. Let's put the text in here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So I'm gonna again grab a type tool and just click and drag. It remembers the last size and font you used, which is great because now I can just type dear first, the name. Yeah, let's do it like this. Okay, so now I have it in here, and I'm gonna drop the color. Okay, you can see that I like left this space in here because I was writing the names by hand, but in this case I don't have to, like, I just want to show you how it works. And now I'm going to copy the text again, so I'm gonna click, hold Option or Alt and Shift and just put it in here. And now I would like to have a tiny bit smaller text. Now I can just go get an eyedropper and click in there, so it's gonna copy the precise font, but I want to show you how to like do it by hand. So I have it selected. I'm gonna go for Adobe Clean. In the font type, what is it? Font family, and the font style, there you can see that there's like 1,000 of them. Okay, there are 4, but you get the point. I'm going for regular and size 11. Also with this I'm going to go for automatic, because now when I will be writing longer text it will look really weird. I'm gonna show you how weird it would look, just so in case you know. So I'm just gonna, you see now I have a very much long lorem ipsum, and if there's a 50 in here it looks like this. Now you get how weird it would be. So in here I'm gonna copy the text I put in. So that I don't have to write it all by myself. And okay. As you can see, as I'm adjusting the size of the input field for text, it's resizing, the fonts are like jumping all over. So I'm usually trying, there's like a graphic rule that you shouldn't have any leftovers at the end of the line, so there should be no end of the and this type of stuff. However, not always you have the possibility to take care of it, and there are like precise rules on what should you be doing with these things. There's also like a tool which helps you not to have these leftovers at the end of the lane. But we don't have that much time today, so we're just gonna be like trying to make it our best. And let me see, I have, oh, you can see I have it in here. Oh, let's not pretend. Okay, anyway, it's good. I'm just gonna maybe make it a little bit smaller. And this is even worse. Okay, whatever. There's just the text is sufficient enough. Any typographer on the world is crying right now, but it's okay. And with this little guy, you can copy him from here, or I will show you how to do him, but I stole him from some of my other designs. So it took me a while to create this, but I will show you. I just made a screenshot. I'm not sure if it works. Okay, it works when I'm recording my screen as well. And I'm just gonna, put him here, and I'm gonna do him separately so he doesn't. Okay, select the layer. When you are doing something from a picture, I always select it and give it a little bit smaller opacity so I can see what I'm doing, and then lock it in the layers. And now I'm gonna go grab a pen tool, and I'm just gonna click and drag. You can see that now the thingies that you can adjust the curves with are happening in there. By the way, there is a tool with which is much easier to do what I'm doing now. However, I'm a lazy designer and the tool haven't existed before, so I'm just going with my old ways. Okay, now I selected the second arrow, click and hold Option or Alt, which makes like you can see that now I'm only taking care of half of the curve. So in here I'm not pushing anything, I want the whole curve to be there, but in here again I need to have it like this with the option. Okay, this is gonna be a simpler version of him. Okay, we have it. And now I go for ellipse tool or L and just create, now I'm back at V, just create his eye. I think I have done those with pen tool, but we need to be a little bit more efficient. So I just copy the eye in here. Okay, pen tool, click, drag, click, drag. Here we are. A arrow. Okay, let's adjust it a little bit. Good. And now with the eye pupils, it's just like plain clicks of pen tool without any dragging, so the line stays sharp, and then I switch the fill with the stroke, and I just hold Option or Alt and copy and a little bit adjust it here. There it is. Okay, good. And in case you want to do this one as well, it's gonna start in here, click and drag, 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 close it. Let's switch it to stroke, and now I go for A, and I think I did it like this, and I put the motion thingies very close, so it sort of is almost sharp, but at the same time it's not. And in here I want it sharp, so I'm gonna zoom in, and there you can also do it like this with this anchor point tool, but I always just click on it, hold the Option and adjust the thing. Okay, and in case you would like to have him in a like a sharp corner as I have it in here, I always go, there's like tons of ways you can do that, but I do it like, I select the frame, I go Command C and Command Shift V, which places the thing you copied on a precise location on the artboard as was the thing that you copied. And now I shift click on the guy and do the right click and go make clipping mask. And what happens now is that he is still there, but I can still move him, but it's only showing, clipping mask. So we can only see the part that is inside of the clipping mask. So that's how I did it. And if I get annoyed by the surrounding frame, I just select it, and hold on, this is the mask. So let's lock it, and now I selected the actual frame, and you can just like disable the stroke and it disappears. However, I think it's kind of handy when you need to adjust it somehow regarding the first frame. So what I did was that I selected everything, I grouped it, Command G or Control G, and then I selected the yellow thing and click on the yellow thing so that I'm aligning to the yellow background, and I went horizontal align, so now they are on like the same middle X. Is it the word X? And then you go to these 3 dots, and in here you select spacing 0, which means that they will stick to each other. And now you can see that it's like pretty done. In case you would like to print it like this is the way to go. Otherwise, you can also delete the yellow thingy around here, as I showed you before. And in case you are doing this for a professional printer, what I would do is I would do the copy of everything that we just designed, holding Option and Shift. And then I would group it, Command G. And now what I would do is go to the artboard tool and click on this group. And usually it creates very precise artboard, but now it doesn't agree with us. So let's just set it 165, and the second one has to be 210. Yes, okay. And now, hold on, I forgot, was it? Okay, good. And now select it and go to middle and middle with the alignment. So now it's aligned as it's supposed to be. And if you're going for a professional printer, it's very good to have bleed in there. In case you don't know what bleed is, you should check my first video on how to set a new design file. However, I will show you in here as well. It's just gonna be quicker and without all the reasoning behind it. So now we go for File, and there is Document, Setup. And in here you can set the bleed to 3 millimeters, which means that every artboard is gonna have the bleed. And now we need to get to this yellow thing, because that's the only thing that goes to the edges. And we want to like spread the graphics over the bleed, so that when the professional printers, I'm gonna be cutting it, they will cut it nicely, and there won't be any yellow, there won't be any white stripes around. Okay, and we also need to do it with Bunboy. So the more times you click, the deeper you get into the layers. So now look how deep I am. In here you can see the layers. And this is inside of a clip group of something. And now I can disable the clipping mask because I don't need it. So we go 1 click, we are inside the group. 2nd click, we are inside of this group. And 3rd click, we are in the layer. So now we go release clipping mask. Right click, release, and what happens is you can see that buchtik is all the way in here, and maybe I would do a white one underneath this. So let's just copy the yellow thing, and now everything copies. Okay, now let's not do it like this. Go to rectangle tool and make something white in here. Right click, send it to the back. Okay. So, and now we are going to be exporting it for the print with the 3 marks. Okay, so first of all, we are going to check what number artboard is this. So I'm gonna go to artboard tool, this is artboard number 3, and let's go File and Save As. And in here, we are going to set this to be PDF, because it's much better to send it with PDF. In here, you are gonna say we only want an artboard number 3. And we go Save. We need to rename it because I already printed it today. Let's go like this, okay. And in here you are going for marks and bleeds, and check in here the trim marks. This is the only trim marks I've ever used in my 8 years long career, and nobody ever said anything. So I think it works. If I will know something better, I will let you know. But this is everything that I do with the settings of the trim marks, and it's very like good enough to go for most of my projects. And in this general, you can see that there is checked option preserve illustration editing capabilities, and it's very handy because when you're sending it to professional printers, they usually have Adobe Illustrator on their own, and in case there's something wrong with your graphics, they can fix it before it goes to print, which is like genius. Okay, so we go for save PDF, and here you have it, and you can see that there are the trim marks ready for the cutting, and that everything ugly around is gonna be trimmed away. And that's it for this video. I hope you had fun and continue designing. See you later!